17th, 2024. If you'll join Alderman Parker in prayer and pledge.
Thank you, Father, for this day. We thank you for your blessings. We ask that you look over us tonight, that we do the city business. We ask also that you bless the first responders, our military, and all their families. Bless the city workers, and thank you for your mercy and grace. For we ask it in Jesus' name and his sake. Amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everybody. Roll call. Patrick?
Here.
Pete? Donald? Here. Mike? Here. Timmy?
Here. I got him on the phone here.
Did he say yes? He's
Yes,
here?
sir.
Okay. All right, and Angie?
Here.
And Bernie?
Present.
All right, we have a quorum. We have a public hearing tonight for 113 Reeves Street.
Notice of hearing was posted on the subject property of 113 Reeve Street in Long Beach, Mississippi on August 27, 2024 by the zoning enforcement officer Dale Stogner and mailed to Michael Forestier, 153 Booth Circle, Ocean Springs, Mississippi 39564.
Okay, I need a motion to second
Motion.
spread report. Discussion, here none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries.
Pictures are being circulated of the property today.
Yeah.
Mike, quick question while we're circulating. Do we, within our ordinance, is it just front yard, anything that can be seen from the street?
I think it's a whole thing, it's a whole yard. We've cut the whole yard before.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, when we inspect, do we look at backyards as well?
If we can get the neighbors
That's-
somehow allow us to get in their yard to get back.
Gotcha.
Backyard
That's,
pictures.
that was just what I was wondering.
All right,
I don't know if anybody's here to speak on that property.
do we have anyone here speak for or against this? Being the hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to close?
Close,
Second.
second. We got a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. All right.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we deem this property non-compliant and adjudicate.
Second. We got a motion and second for non-compliance of the property for adjudication. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Got to get our sheet up here, see if we have any public comments before we move forward. See anybody here for the Constitution?
Four. Five, maybe.
Ashley would have come.
None.
Okay, thank you.
No one's here for, no public comments for announcements, presentations, and proclamations, Constitution Week. Do we have anybody here to receive the proclamation? If not, I'm going to read it from here. City of Long Beach, Mississippi, Office of the Mayor, City Certificate of Proclamation, whereas September 17, 2024 marks the 237th anniversary of drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebration which will commemorate this occasion, and where it is the privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate the 237th anniversary of the drafting of our Constitution of the United States of America with appropriate ceremonies and activities, and Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, I, George L. Bass, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Long Beach and the state of Mississippi, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Long Beach to be affixed this 17th day of September in the year of our Lord in 2024. One's here to accept it, so we will forward it to the proper people. But I think it's very incumbent upon us to be totally aware of the liberties our Constitution gives us, and one of the main things is the right to vote. And I encourage all of our citizens to enjoy that right and get out and vote. All right, moving forward, we have amendment to the municipal docket. We have one here to add to the agenda. It will go to under approval of dockets.
Yes, sir.
And it's to WC4. They misunderstood our time frame to get this in. They did get it in, but it was a little late. So we want to put this on here. It's a substantial payment to them. So I'd entertain a motion second to add this to the document.
Second.
Now, I got a motion second to add this to the docket. It's what's the total payment? $386,644.06. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we move into the approval of the minutes of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen, September the 3rd, 2024, at our regular and executive session, and September the 10th at our 2024 at our recess. Any motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Planning and Development Commission on September 12th, 2024, regular, a motion and second, discussion and approval?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of docket claims number 091724, motion and second for approval?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have, get back over here where I can see it. Unfinished business, pickleball tennis court discussion. We were asked to put this back on the agenda previously by the last time we had discussed it, and it's back on here, so I entertain a motion and second. Discussion.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion. You want to do it first?
I know the last time we had focused on moving everything out to the senior citizens, but I'm just curious to know. I know you wanted to leave the ball fields on Klondike for backup. That area has concession stand, lighting, fencing, parking. If you keep one of the fields for backup, what would that look like as pickleball courts, or just maybe even putting a couple there, the rest of them at the Senior Citizen Center? Because it seems to me, and this is just me, since there's so much work already done there, that it would be more cost-effective to put a couple there.
You asking me a question?
I'm asking you because it's
Okay.
Parks and Recs, and it's that area that,
Bob, get the mic, please. Talk into the mic so it.
My vision, and one of the biggest problems we've had with the city is practice fields for our youth. Since I've been here, we have no practice fields.
I do
Especially with the
understand that.
county building our fields, they don't let us practice as much as we can. We have full access to our fields on Klondike. In the future, I believe we should split those fields, 1 or 2 for the softball and 2 for baseball. So you'll never run into an issue with practice fields for the boys or girls. They'll be your solution. That will solve all the problems for practice fields. You'll be able to split those. And you'll also have the other parks like Magnolia. And we actually open up the football field with the lights during the season for the leagues. So that would be my vision. The Sportsplex would be the ultimate place to put them. The reasoning be, if you're going to do a tournament with these, and I've spoken with pickleball players and tennis players, if you're going to do a pickleball tournament and you put the park out there at the rec center, you're going to have, if you build 4 courts out there, you're also going to have access to the rec center, which is the activity building. So we'll have concessions in there, You'll be able to host a big tournament out there. You'll have 4 indoor courts and 4 outdoor courts. That's 8 courts. And you'll have the activity room for awards banquets. You'll have the concession area like we do for basketball. So it's really a win-win situation out there. If you put them at the softball fields, then you're going to take away from a practice field. And that's really crucial during the spring and the fall. And that's one of the biggest complaints. I know our last administration, Billy, we put up a backstop at one of the parks, actually 2 of the parks, just for the practice areas. So I know we won't have softball fields for a year or 2, but the county's working on them. So when they come up, when they're ready, I believe we should split those fields. I probably won't be here. I'll be retired by then, but hopefully we'll be able to split those,
Hey.
and we'll have 2 practice fields for baseball and 2 for softball. That's my vision, and that's what I'd like to see happen.
Well, and when we originally talked, I love the idea of having it out there in a huge sports complex
Right.
out there, and adding another exit, because that is really needed out there too.
Yep.
I just, in my mind, I was trying to think of alternatives just to come up with something, and since all of that is already there, the economics of it, I just wanted to present that as an idea if we're just talking
Understandable.
about different,
All the
things.
pickleball people that I've spoken with, and we've spoken with everyone that's come into the gym, we've polled them all. 99% of them say that location out there is the location they would require, because if they do tournaments, the rec center is a perfect location for them to be their hub and be able to host a really nice tournament out there.
Well, and I liked what the lady, Parigi, I think it's her last name, Rose, I did like, she had statistics and everything she said, I like what she said, because I think the noise level is an issue. So, but I just wanted to throw that out there, didn't know what y'all's thoughts were, but just, that's a different avenue.
I would like to concur with Bob. As somebody who's coached in this city for 40 years, baseball specifically, there is never, and there still probably won't be enough practice fields, even if you retain the ones on Klondike Road. In anticipation of this topic being brought up for us to discuss, I took it upon myself. I wanted to make a decision based on facts, because I understand there was some talk about going toward the town green, and there was some talk about going toward the sportsplex out there. So I took it upon myself to put written surveys at the rec center. Did that about 2 months ago. Of the pickleball players, I had 30 people respond, and of the 30 that responded, 87% of them said that they would prefer to go to the rec center because of the fact that we could host tournaments using anything new that we built out there in conjunction with what you have already existing. I also went a step further, and I sent written letters out to the 18 surrounding residents around the town green, and I got responses and emails on that, and out of all the responses of people who live on Burke and on either side of the town green, I had 0 people who were in favor of putting pickleball down there, citing noise, lights, lack of parking, and interference with other activities that go on down there. So I don't see where we could go wrong. I also have a vision for the future. If we ever attain what's south of the canal over there, I would like to see a disc golf course being put in over there, and that would be, to me, wonderful to have our baseball, our softball, pickleball, tennis, and a disc golf out there. I don't see how we could go wrong. That's just my opinion.
I'd like to make a substitute motion that we go ahead and allow the site work to begin out at the recreation complex. And I mean with the culverts and dirt work.
Well, I'll second it, because I think that just for future, in anything that is going to be done out there, that would need to be done for that future work, wherever we do end up doing it. I mean, I do like that area, but I think that's a good move. to get that
Just
done.
discussion, my only thing, and I have to give up the fight on the town green because I'm probably the only one. But Should we, before we do, I'm on my own island over here. Should we go ahead and get prices before we start civil work? Just get a price for the whole thing?
Well, the reason I said this is this needs to be done regardless. Like Angie just said, if we do not put it out there, we need parking. We're gonna need some parking.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's a better way right now? We gotta put a large culvert out, but we've got the dirt, correct me if I'm wrong, from the canal being hauled that we can probably get for a little bit of nothing or nothing. Nothing. So let's take advantage of this.
Can I ask for clarification on your motion?
Sure.
What you're exactly entailing?
To
I
go
guess
ahead
I'm
and-
just looking for specifics.
Go ahead and culvert the length of the property where it needs to be covered. There's a large ditch that runs through there. And then have the dirt hauled out there and get it leveled. I don't know if the city can do that or utility.
They've been doing that.
Okay, and get it leveled out and let it compact right now. That's my motion.
Okay.
If the city can do it,
I-
I just wouldn't want to have to get one company to come in and do it and then have to get somebody else. But if the
To
city,
redo it, yeah.
y'all win.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have talked to JLB that's doing the Canal One, and they have brought several loads of dirt out there. They continue today, and they will continue tomorrow. And if they continue this week, we could probably have that thing leveled off out there and ready for the compaction. And then I will get Mike, y'all get us the cost of the ditch to bring the other little pipe that has to come in and, box in whatever you got to do that, because that's a substantial amount of parking we could add across there
If we
that
need
would
it.
benefit, like Mike said, the softball field, so.
I'm fine
I will
with
do
that.
that.
I'm fine with that motion. I've said it amongst other aldermen, but I am not, and I'm saying this publicly on behalf of myself, I'm not in favor in moving forward with pickleball courts until we know, I know Bob did a very good job on that, but until we know that we have the bathrooms, the fence, and it's not that we wouldn't do it, but I just don't want to see us get into two projects and then go, oh, we're $150,000 over budget on this or that.
Yeah.
So that's just where I'm coming from, not that I'm against anything. I just want to watch every penny of this as we're going.
That's kind of the consensus, and I don't think we had even talked about doing anything
No,
until
you're
Bob
correct,
says
and that's-
we're done. Once Bob says we're done.
Fair enough.
but then we don't have to go do the dirt work and everything. We've got it sitting there and we can
Fair
rock
enough.
and
I
roll.
just wanted everybody to know where.
And I will answer some of your questions there. The only thing we're lacking now, we got the cost of the pavilion over here at War Memorial, and it come back at about $25,000 for material and labor on it. And now we're awaiting the quote on the bathroom facility. And Mike, off the top of your head, what would you think that facility would cost us?
For the bathroom, I think you're around 40 to 50.
Right.
I know we're
And
going to come
right
in
now-
under budget. I
Right
mean,
now, yeah, right now with what Bob has spent and the additional that we've purchased for
Yes, sir.
equipment, we're gonna be sitting about $580,000. And the quote we got from the one company, to give us an idea just of what we were looking at, $465,000.
and I agree with this entire project, but I
just
don't want us going, oh, we
Well,
got to
I'm ju-
get, you know.
I'm telling y'all that so that you'll
And I
be
appreciate
pretty
that.
much at ease about what we're doing, but we're not gonna move forward with the courts until we know we've got the bathroom, we've got everything done, because I agree with you.
Thank you.
We can't afford to be over budgeted, so,
And did you
All right.
ever get a second on Mike's motion?
Yes.
yes, we got about 3 seconds on that, so, any more discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all. We'll continue with this and have Mike get those prices for us for the next meeting. All right, next we have under new business, property and casualty insurance renewal, Tom Sawyer.
Mr. Mayor, Tom is not here tonight, but Chief Skelly and I had a phone conference with him the other day. I'm going to make a motion that we approve this renewal, and I will, after I get if I get a second, I
Second.
will go into it.
Go ahead and, yes, this is good.
So our renewal came back at right at, excuse me, I'm just doing the math in my head here, right at $1,400 over last year. And what I want everybody to keep in mind, we're $1,400 up over last year, but we added $2 million in coverage for our new fire station out on Daughtery Road. Johnson Road, excuse me, thank you. Something else that we do now have on our policy, we also have the stage on our policy now. So we have an increase there.
370.
We did have a reduction in our work comp mod, which after 4 years, we're under 1 point, which is very good for a municipality. I also, looking over everything, our cyber was up right at 2%. So that was really the only big jump out there. Of course, our vehicles went up. We have some newer vehicles on the policy. But all in all, same company, same deductibles per building or per claim, which is good, so we don't have to buy that reinsurance or the buy down. So this is the reasons that I'm coming to you saying that I think we should approve this.
All right, we got a motion second. Do we have any more discussion on this?
No, I can tell you just from owning one house and it going up over $1,000, and for everything that we've added and managing that $1,400 is pretty darn good. And plus, when they go out and shop for us, so they try to shop for the best rate. So I think it's a great price.
So, yeah, and I'm glad Angie did say that again. Going back to the work comp modification or modules there, we are rated now after the 3 years coming from a private pool insurance, which is good. It helps us to be able to shop it out further in the future, as long as we don't have any major work comp claims. So.
Okay. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have fee waiver request, Institute for Disability Studies, job extravaganza.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have a 4th Street property offer from Justin Shaw. Motion and second, discussion, approval?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion.
So, council, legally, can we do that? Because this is the one we did want a sealed bid, and we got no bids for it.
Well, we didn't get a bid, but we just got an offer, just a straight offer from a citizen.
Correct.
Right.
After the bid process has gone by the wayside.
Yes, we didn't receive any bids. You're free to entertain offers.
We are free to entertain an offer now.
We put the bids out, we publicized them in accordance with the requirements of the statute, didn't receive any bids, so.
Yeah.
At this point, if the board already having determined when we put it out for bids that it was in the city's best interest to dispose of the property, so that determination's already been made, yeah, you can entertain an offer.
I'm just gonna, I personally think that it's very close to what it appraised for, and we have to take into account putting it back on the tax roll and the future property tax dollars that it would come. I would make the motion to accept the offer.
Substitute motion.
I'm sorry, that was my
That was the-
original motion.
All right.
Was the motion to accept it,
Yes,
and then
sir.
we discuss it and
Okay,
approve it.
Sorry, no,
Yeah.
I needed to
Don't
clarify.
substitute it again.
Yeah, second, Donald, then.
All right, yeah.
All right, I just want to
Discussion.
throw this out there. It is not a huge lot, but just thinking of the future, would it not be also, I know that we're going to pay for it, but is it something that we could turn into additional parking for downtown? Would it be something feasible for us to, I know that we all agreed selling it, but just trying to think a little bit more forward, would it be something that we could utilize as additional parking or, and I do know there's houses around it, but it's still commercial property. So I just want y'all to,
Be aware of it.
be aware. Should we just hang on to it and see, are there any other things that we could possibly do with it?
Angie, not to throw daggers in that explanation or the thought, but here's where I'm looking at, is if you look at these thriving cities, we as Long Beach are spoiled. I mean, I don't want to walk to that restaurant, it's 25 feet. If you don't get to park in the front row, we're spoiled. And I think it would be good for our city to be filled where you're fighting for parking spots. In the long run, it's worked well for Bay St. Louis, and this is just my thoughts. I think that tax revenue, in my opinion, outweighs it.
And my only thing, and I would, if it was a 3-acre lot or even a 2-acre lot, I would probably agree with you. It's just, I don't even know how much parking you could even, I mean, it is a smaller
It is
lot.
a small one,
It's
and
probably
so-
what, 0.4, or maybe not in the,
Should be, I think, 75 by 150, I think.
Something like that, it's narrow.
Yeah.
So I
When
don't-
you start putting
Sorry.
parking lot on each side, you'd have to.
I just think it's a very fair offer, because I do know people and what some of the lots around it have sold for. It's very close to the appraisal. It's a little under, but not much.
Yeah, it's about a quarter of an acre, and I will say
About
this.
27 parking spots is what it could hold.
Yeah, I will say this, the median price through the two appraisals we had was $90,000.
And this offer was
Quarter of an acre, and,
85.5, so I mean,
yeah,
that's,
85.5 is the offer.
I'm just thinking about the future property tax revenue, just getting that property off of the city, get it back on the tax roll, but.
And I'd just add, Angie shared those sentiments with me earlier today, and I'll just respond like I did. My thought is, I don't think the footprint is big enough to accommodate safe egress and entrance to that small piece of property. I think those people probably prefer a neighbor rather than asphalt. So that's where I stand on it as well. And I don't know if council, if this is legal, but I don't know if anything precludes us from making a counteroffer, if you feel like that's appropriate.
Ooh, I like that.
Counter
Offer.
I mean,
I mean, I'm just throwing out suggestions. I mean, I like the offer, but I'm just counter offer. I mean,
We know what the median price was, and I think that's a discussion that y'all need to have, or decision y'all need to make.
I
whether
look
we
at
go ahead and
interest
move forward.
rates. With that being said, my comeback to Pete is, I think what we have there, you talked about the size of the lot. I understand appraisals, that was done, 8 months ago? I think the market is changing, and my opinion is not to cut us short, but I think this is a fair offer. I don't know the gentleman who put in the offer, but I think this is a very fair offer. And I stand behind my motion to accept.
All right, we have a motion and a second to accept this, officer, and advice of council that we can accept since we've went out for sealed bids. Do we have any more discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I am going to oppose it just.
Okay, all right,
because.
I'm gonna do a roll call. Patrick?
Aye.
Pete?
Aye.
Donald?
Aye?
Aye.
Nay.
Kim says aye, Angie says nay, and Bernie?
Aye.
Okay, 6-1, motion carries. All right, next we have contract Harrison County Redistricting Services. This is just pretty much a bookkeeping.
It is, it's a contract between us and the circuit clerk's
So moved.
office.
Got a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second, sorry.
Thank y'all. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have rental agreement, Centos City Hall. This is for our rugs here.
Motion.
Got a motion, we have a second. We got a second, discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no, motion carries. Next, we have a contract addendum. This is Pickering Firm Klondike and 28th Street improvements. This is a 24-month extension on the current contract, no additional cost, just an extension to be able to allow us to continue to move forward.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion?
This is this due to our legal matters in this? Because when I was reading the addendum, it didn't say why we were asking for it.
It's due to the right-of-way purchases and not
Perfect.
being,
Okay,
taking time.
that's all the clarification I was looking for.
What did you, I didn't hear.
Right-of-way purchases.
Okay, got it.
So just so we can clear it up, is that true for the next one too, Kenny?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them's the same.
Perfect,
So,
thank you.
All right, we got a motion and a second. We have any more discussion on this one?
No, sir.
Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have a contract addendum, Pickering Firm, Klondike Road and Commission Road,
Motion.
Second.
for a 12-month extension.
Thank you.
So, got a motion and a second. We have any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. I've got something I need to discuss, but it involves a lease, and we discussed it at last meeting in executive session, and I don't know if you've got any feedback from us, if it can be talked about here, if we need to go back there to talk about it.
Nothing new to tell the board at this
Okay.
time.
All right. Well, then I'll leave that alone and say I don't have anything to discuss. Courtney, am I forgetting something? Okay, thank you. All right, personnel, we have Police Department resignation 2, step increase 4, Fire Department 1 new hire, 12 step increases, General Administration, we got 1 increase, Mayor's Office, we got 1 increase, Building Office, we have 2 step increases, Harbor, we have 4, Court, step increases 2, part-time rehire 1, Recreation, step increase 1, resignation 1, and new hire 1, and utility billing have a step increase 1. I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Second to approve these all together. Got a motion and a second.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Just FYI to the public out there, all this has been in our new budget. The
Absolutely.
rehire and everything, all the step increases were included in our new upcoming budget.
In the budget.
Thank you, Mikey.
Okay. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have City Clerk Revenue Expense Report of August of 2024. Motion is second for
Motion.
discussion and
Second.
approval. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Next, we have budget amendments for FY '24. These are closing out not the encumbered, but this will be closing out those purchase orders that we'd already approved.
Correct.
For several departments here, you could see it in here within the numbers of departments.
Second.
So we've got a motion and a second to approve this. And I will say that we're still under our expense for what we budgeted for this current year, so. All right, all those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, motion carries. Fire Chief, you got anything?
Yes, sir. I would like to say out in this public meeting, we had a donation made to the fire department and actually city. This past week, Miss Betty Peck made a donation of some Kohler equipment, around $20,000 worth. Some really nice stuff. I just want to thank her for that.
Yeah.
It looked like nice
It's,
donations.
It was actually all very nice. Everything is,
top of the line, it's great.
top of the line. It's run by Kohler engines, so all of it's portable. You can take it anywhere and use it, from welding machines to water pumps.
And generator was in there.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Some very nice equipment, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, and I would say, if y'all got a chance to go by there and look at this, this is a great gift. What about $22,000
Yes, sir.
of equipment that's been donated to us? I'd like to personally thank Ms. Peck for doing this.
Absolutely.
We greatly appreciate that. That's very good. Anything else?
No, sir, that's it.
Thank you for that report. Police Department, we got Feed the Needy contributions. Chief, you want to talk about this, or you want us to just read our letters?
Well, you can read the letter, but I'll just bring it up. We did it last year. This is where we feed the needy with hot meals at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I think last year we did almost 50 meals each time here in Long Beach that we brought to the elderly and shut-ins.
This is a good program. It's a 501(c) organization. It's made up of agencies, as you said, and they're requesting us for a $1,500
Motion.
donation. We got a motion.
Second.
We got a second. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
you.
Engineer and David, you have anything for us? I think
Well,
you got.
I did bring something to each of you. We've got probably a need just to, because of the timeline on these ARPA projects, to hope to have some conversation about what the city's rights would be on a prescriptive easement. And I don't know if we need to have any more conversation. We had a little bit before the meeting with the city attorney. I don't know if there's anything else needed.
I think if you'll look at the drawing, we've got some complications where there's now a box that is in a prescriptive easement, but the landowners are not wanting it there. There's a small section of pipe that we could pull that box out and move to back what we're going to be piping and put a new box in the area that we have approval to do. And
That's right.
And go ahead and take this, because this is an ARPA consideration, and we need to be able to move forward with this. Steve, you got input for us, sir?
Yes, sir, Mayor. In speaking with David today, I understood that the property owner raised some concerns about the length, whether it be a temporary or permanent easement, and talking about those issues with an attorney. I would suggest and recommend that I be authorized to reach out to the property owner if they have counsel, talk to them, see if we can resolve any miscommunications or apprehensions they have. If we can't, David and I discussed the alternative methodology of just moving the head wall back, and we do have, under the prescriptive easement, the authority to remove the existing infrastructure that is on the property at this time. But if there's an opportunity to resolve it without having to do that, at least explore it.
All right, I'd entertain a motion and a second to allow council to do it, and if he doesn't, to also allow us
I'll
to go ahead
second.
and move forward with doing the work to remove that from that property that is in a prescriptive easement. Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, David. That ought to clear us up till tomorrow.
Yes.
All right, next we have Public Works. Mike, do you have anything you need to come with?
We're good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Building Office, Mike again?
We're okay.
Okay. Who did I skip? Bob, Recreation. I'm sorry, Bob, you was on the wrong side.
That's fine. First round of equipment that we got in is starting to go on the ground. Each day is helping us. They're actually doing most of the work by putting the equipment in. So hopefully by the end of the week or beginning of next week, we'll have all that first round of equipment installed.
Okay. So you're hoping by the end of next week to have all the new equipment in all the parks?
Not this the first round. The second round of stuff that
Still
you
waiting to come in for the second round?
We get that in, we'll
Okay.
install that.
This is going to be a great improvement.
It is.
It's going to be wonderful. All right, anything else?
We're good.
All right, Municipal Court. Ms. Emma, you got anything?
Yes, sir, we're doing well.
All right. Harvard, Harry?
We're good.
Okay. Community Affairs, what you got over there?
We have two big events on Saturday. On Saturday at Jones Park, the mayor will be getting his head shaved for Rock the Bald. He'll be there at 10, but the event is completely free. We encourage everyone to come out. They'll have some princesses and superheroes for kids and face painting. And then also on Saturday, we have the citywide hosted fall sidewalk sale at local businesses.
Okay. All right.
How much for me and Mikey to cut your hair?
Yeah, if y'all want to cut it, I won't charge you, but y'all not shaving it.
I'm just saying, if
Well,
it's,
it's 10
if this
o'clock in
is
the
for
morning, I might
charity,
trust you.
Mr. Mayor, if this is for charity and you're willing to raise some money, I'm thinking you could consider that.
Well, I will consider that. I would,
Both pieces?
I will consider it. I can promise you that. Not saying I'll agree to it, but. All right, derelict properties, we've got 100 La Rosa Road update. Mike?
State, we've already seen the letter from council, correct?
Sir,
La Rosa Road, 100 La Rosa. You've already sent a letter out to all of us, correct?
to all of y'all, correct. And
Okay.
I got an email copy of what I discussed with Jim Simpson.
And I think you're wanting to know if there was any questions.
Well, I guess, can we not follow up with them and see when this dumpster is gonna be removed? Because it looks
can.
like the mattresses are in the dumpster one day and then back out, in, out.
Today, they're out.
One.
Well, I mean, but still, if
It
it gets
is out.
hauled
I'm
off,
like Mike now. I think that came out of the building. I don't think people's dumping. I think
I
those were
went
in
and
the.
looked, took a good look inside the building, and it appears to me everything that's in that dumpster came out of that building. And I
and
had
that's fine,
physically
but what I'm
seen her
saying is
there
the
about 2
the
weeks ago.
mattresses in
And
the
that was the last
dumpster
time
one
I
day,
seen her there.
and then out in the
Let
parking lot.
me add this factor, okay, and Chief Seal may or may not know this. I was listening to the police radio last weekend, and they had to run a homeless person out of there that was trying to make his way in there overnight. So that's not acceptable.
I don't disagree with that.
And we've been running them out, breaking in there, and stealing
So
stuff.
that's not acceptable.
No, I don't disagree with you.
You say they're breaking in? Is it
We've
something?
arrested a couple people,
But
charged one with trespassing and 2 with, I think, burglary.
Is it something we can ask the business owner or the building owner to seal up better?
We've asked them, and that, it's their property, they were there and are aware.
Any more discussion on this?
So what is the end result here?
When there was a letter
I
sent out.
mean,
The letter says that we,
is-
Judge says she's done
She's
everything.
done
Everything she was required to do by what we had asked the building office to ask the courts.
Okay, so that's regular court. We had also discussed environmental. I mean, to
I
me, if
think that
people are
was-
leaving, I mean, to
That's the
me, it
environmental.
sounds like unclean conditions in their stuff. Is that something, Steve, that it could move up to or something? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's another place to bring the property owner to try to get some relief. It's actually got less teeth, I think, in it than the municipal court does. And it seems like we're somewhat prosecuting the landowner for the same infractions, so, in 2 different places. Just seems a little inefficient, not very effective to
Yeah.
do it in the environmental court and the municipal court.
Understand all of that, but, and it gets under my skin, I'll be the first to tell you, but in my opinion, when you look at it, there's no other definition but blight. That's what it consists of, and I think for some reason our hands are tied, and that's disappointing.
Council, is there any other way we can move?
When Alderman McGouey says our hands are tied, I think it's hard to dispute that there's been progress, slow and painful, like pulling teeth.
15 years.
There's been progress. I think the best we can do is continue to exert pressure and through monitoring, both through the police department and the code office, to make sure that, they don't get lax on the effort to finish the project and get it cleaned up.
are we able to find them, find the owner daily?
There was a fine imposed at the municipal court.
And she paid the fine. And she stood right here in front of Judge Simpson and said, this is what I'm gonna do in the future. I've got these plans, I have an engineer coming to look at it, I'm gonna rebuild it. And I sat right there and knew the whole thing was fabricated.
Well,
It's
that's
not
kinda-
happening.
That's where
And I
I'm.
hate to say that, but it's not happening.
Yeah.
But we go back in front of the judge and say, can we retro back
I
and
talked-
install some
I thought,
funds?
yeah.
I mean, is that, Emma, is that something that,
I mean, she's been adjudicated. She did everything that was asked of her. She served probation, she paid her fine. She did everything that was asked from the court.
I was under the understanding that it was what we said
Was gonna be
was
done.
construction,
Yeah,
plans, work.
Fit for occupancy.
demolish or redo.
Exactly. That's what she kept telling Judge Simpson. This is where she's going with this.
Yeah. But is there a timeline that she, and I'm just saying.
I don't know, and I asked him, I said, we can't force her to spend $1 million,
Yeah.
in my opinion,
At least.
to fix that. That was what I asked him. He said, you can't. You can't do, she's done what you asked her to do as far as keeping it clean. We can't make her make the building functional for occupancy.
I agree with that.
Wait,
You
wait,
can't, you can't compel them to invest money and build something. You can, under the ordinance, compel them to maintain it in a cleanly and safe and healthy manner. You know,
So it
other
can
than
look
that-
like that as long as the outside is picked up and no trash, but it could look like it does?
When it no longer meets the requirements of our code, Mike needs to, and they need to cite her again and drag her back before the court.
Yeah, and the only thing that according to what our ordinance is saying, the only thing is there's still debris inside, and she's slowly cleaning it out of there.
No timeline on that? Why not?
The book doesn't, I mean, the code that we go by, as long as she's doing something slowly, she's making progress.
Can we take her back to court and ask for a timeline?
Once it's out of compliance is what I'm hearing.
You know, the only thing I see over there now, she's got the dumpster in front and the windows are uncovered. And now this, nothing against Bill, this is the first I've heard of this, that people have been in and out of it.
And that's ridiculous for our police department to have to keep going,
Don't disagree with any of this.
taking people
But
out.
this is the first I've heard. I did see the young man sleeping on the sidewalk maybe 2 weeks ago out in front. So I don't know what direction to go. It's deemed a condominium complex from 30 years ago, and it's owned by 3 separate people. The one on the end is currently somebody staying there. The 3 in the middle are owned by a deceased lady, her family owns it, and then the other lady owns the other 5.
Have we done anything?
So it's a group effort that you gotta deal with all that.
Do we look at going the other people, the other owners?
You said you sent letters to the other owners.
Correct. We have sent, there's nothing really wrong with the end.
Right.
It used to be, there's that, I mean, he
Is it
keeps
still open? It was open.
No, he does have, there's some issues going on with his business license, with the state. But he's actually renting that building from another man.
All right, so you just said it's deemed as condominiums.
Correct.
Okay, so it's never been utilized, or it's always been offices, so they're out of compliance, number one.
No.
They're using it as condominiums because people are sleeping in them, but in my mind, condominiums are places that are utilized as to live. This is not where people live, these are businesses, correct?
That's just a form.
I think that is more of how it is subdivided through ownership.
That way.
Well, that's
It's a
pathetic that we
nightmare.
have
How it
to
was
look at
ever
that.
changed to condominiums is and I don't know, that was probably decades ago, but how anybody ever made that a condominium, that's the issue, which who knows when that happened.
It's a nightmare issue. It's been that way for, like he said, 15, 20 years.
At least 15
So
years.
Steve, it's deemed condominiums, but the city can't go back and say it was deemed condominiums, it's never been utilized as that, and we can't go that angle to do something? It's not being utilized as what it was said to be?
Well, if it becomes abandoned for some period of time, it may
think we've
lose
met
its
that.
non-conforming, although it's zoned properly right now. It's not zoned improperly, is it, Mike?
No.
Not sure if that, I think that's a C2 where it is.
I mean, it's abandoned, it's not utilized property, I think we get, checking all the boxes
But
here.
I guess, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, is we were the ones that, and I say we, the city was the one that deemed it a condominium development. Not the ownership, they didn't come to us.
That was like, what,
and
40 years ago?
Yes, ma'am.
If it was a residential area and it was abandoned for a period of time, it would probably could revert back, but since it's commercial, technically still commercial, even though it's a
And
condo.
you can have condominiums in a C2, so it's by planning commission approval. And if you go back and read the minutes from those years back,
What
somehow
year
it got into that. I don't know what happened, but it's in the books.
In the 70s,
No, this is probably the 80s or 90s.
80s?
Yeah.
And the only thing you have on them right now, Miss Angie, about where you're heading is if the occupancy changes, like if that was a tanning or a business
Correct.
occupancy.
Right.
If they try to go in there and do some other type of occupancy, then the city can force them to follow that occupancy code.
Newest code.
But as of right now, the way it's sitting, the code can't do much more. And I'm sad to say that.
And I think, not to step on your toes there, Chief, but I think what he's saying is if it goes to residential, then, which is the strictest code, that's when the city can enforce it to R1 codes or residential codes and safety.
Commercially, the strictest code would be an assembly, a church or something like that. Then they're gonna go in there and sprinkle it and what have you. They're gonna spend some money on it. But as of right now, the way it sits, as far as fire code goes and most of Mike's code, until something changes, we're kind of stuck in the middle.
We're all stuck here. I get it.
All right, any more discussion on this item?
Keep this on our radar.
Just, yeah.
Nope, because we
I've
could just
got-
go on and on.
I've got to go back up to my report. I did have one thing there in the mayor's office. Truck and trailers parked on Sill Avenue, just south of 5 Points and the shopping center. Pardon me?
Right behind Autos.
Yeah, right behind AutoZone on Sill Avenue. It's been parked there forever. I was told that the brakes were out on the guy's truck. Mr. Simpson, can we start issuing him a ticket for parking in the street?
Well, we can go out there and tell him he's gotta move it, and then if he doesn't comply, and there's not enough.
Talk into the mic so everybody hear you from home.
So we can go out and ask him to move it, and if he doesn't, then we can take enforcement action. If
Well, let's
it's-
do that tomorrow
If it's
morning,
infringing
first
the
thing.
roadway.
If not tonight.
How many days does he have, like
I
after you?
mean, we can do it for a day, 2 days, whatever we said. I mean, if it's not in compliance. Now it's a courtesy to tell him to move it.
Okay.
And if he doesn't, he can be cited for obstructing the roadway.
Okay. Okay, so there is something we could do with it then. That's good, because I've been inundated with calls and emails about it. So,
Yeah, we hadn't, so,
you hadn't?
no.
Well, it's been there. I know I talked to you about it a couple weeks ago. So, all right, y'all gonna take care of that? All right, we'll back down to the bottom here. Mr. City Attorney, you got any reports for us, anything?
No, sir, Mayor.
Okay. Motion second to adjourn?
Motion.
All those in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all.